I've now covered over 1,000 miles off-road on this expedition, and yet somehow this still feels like the beginning. I'm on the very cusp of crossing over into the province of Galicia, one of the wildest frontiers on this trail. This track demarcates the boundary of this place, legendary for its wilderness, world-class 4x4 routes, and singular identity. Totally unique, they say, from the rest of the country. Galicia is one of the most remote and far-flung states on the peninsula, and being cut off by wild, rugged terrain from the rest of the country has caused it to develop its own unique personality. Home to Santiago de Compostela, the end of the Camino, Galicia is a place that people have come for centuries in order to find themselves on grueling pilgrimages. But Galicia is also a place that people go to get lost. A vast and unforgiving state, covered in forests, mountains and moors, where the hostile climate exists at odds with the warm instincts of the culture to take in and shelter the lost and wandering souls that have walked its caminos for generations. Now, as I finally reach the border of Galicia, after almost 3 months on the road, on what is undoubtedly the most grueling and brutal four-wheel drive pilgrimage of my life, I feel a strange parallel between myself and the faithful who have no doubt arrived, as I am, broken and beaten down by the trail behind them through these wind-blasted mountains. Wow, I gotta show you this. This is breathtaking, properly wild Spain. This is the four-wheel drive track. It's pretty challenging in parts. And here we go. And look at this. We're basically on top of this. Well, not basically. We literally are on the ridgeline of this mountain. We're at 1,200 meters or 1,300 meters above sea level. And it's rocky. This is like the rocky outcrop that makes the actual ridgeline of this mountain. Look. So this is the rocky ridge. Land Cruiser there. This is the track that I just came up on. And look down there. And I've climbed all the way up the side of this mountain on switchback routes. Man. And look how the mountains affect the weather. So over there, we've got bright sunlight coming in. Over there is the coast. A fair few miles away, but that is the coast. And these mountains here, and look up ahead, totally fogged out. That's rain coming down in sheets up ahead of us. And that is like, it's totally obscured in cloud and fog. Wow. I'm on top of the freaking world. Oh, God. This is so good, man. I'm now like, I've literally climbed on foot. I'm on a massive boulder. This is the ridgeline of the mountain. Wow. Look at that. Little cruiser down there. I just climbed up here. And this ridgeline goes all the way up there. So what you're seeing now is the whole, this is like the Cordillera of this particular mountain range. We're right on it. And I've climbed up it in a Land Cruiser that I built myself and brought from the UK to be here in wild, rugged northern Spain, man. What the hell? Like, sometimes I have to, like, I don't know, my mind, like, blanks, and I'm like, wait, is this a dream? Honestly, like, I'm not just saying that as, like, an expression or something like that. Like, I often get that feeling, I'm like, wait, am I imagining this? And it's like, no, mate, no, you're not, this is real. Let's carry on. I see these things sometimes, I'm just like, who would have thought that this big yellow frickin' lump of bolts and rust would come to define my life in such a distinctive way? You know, in October, it'll be 10 years since I bought this vehicle for the Pan American Highway. I remember looking at it on the forecourt of like a truck yard in the north of Holland. Looking at the big frickin' holes, rust holes in the sills and that. And remembering people telling me if you could see any rust hole that you could put your finger through, walk away. And I was looking at this bloody rust hole that I could have put my fist through. I'd come however many 1,000 kilometers or whatever to look at this thing and to buy it to go do a trip of a lifetime, the Pan American Highway. And thinking, God, this is going to be a nightmare. And it has been. But it also has been the best decision that I ever made in my life, simultaneously. Which is a funny thing, isn't it? Goes to show, don't always listen to people when they tell you things. Follow your heart, follow what you think that you want to do. Because sometimes it'll work out. I continued on along the four-wheel drive track, following the ridgeline of the mountaintop, with Galicia out to my right and Asturias on my left. So check it out, this is the ridgeline of the mountain still. Behind me is the Land Cruiser, and yeah, it's just, like, I have no words to describe how spectacular this is. It's absolutely amazing. Land Cruiser's doing fantastically well, no issues at all. And yeah, I'm basically just having the time of my life out here. It's freaking amazing, honestly. I tell you what, get out there and do a 4x4 trip. Go do it. You won't regret it. Like, this has just been full on low range 4-wheel drive for the entire day, basically. Heading ever westwards on what I believe to be the world's first circumnavigation of the Iberian Peninsula without using paved roads and a 4-wheel drive. This is the ridge of a mountain. Right here, as you see it. Down there is the side of a mountain, and down there, and we are on the freaking ridge line. Oh, like, when do you ever get to do this, man? Like, this is the trip of a lifetime, mate. This is like something out of a Lost World novel, man. Just like low range driving, eating an apple. This is life on the road, man. I'm absolutely starving. And I've just got nothing because there was no supermarket in that little town that I was staying at. It was just like dried goods and stuff. Got nothing to snack on. Just eating apple after apple. As I picked my way through the deep ruts of this four-wheel drive track along the mountainside, I could see that I was approaching a huge ledge to the left-hand side. I could tell that this was going to be something special. It looked to be jutting out away from me and hanging out over the valley below. Wow, brother. Oh my god. You won't believe it, but this is snow, man. This is snow coming down in sheets. Look at this, mate. Oh my god, that's where we've just come from. So there's a huge black cloud and snow is coming down on the mountain that we've just left. I tell you what, like, this gives you a real sense of oh my god, look at that. We are standing, my foot for scale, on top of a crag. This is a seam of bedrock here, with bits jutting out into the air, and we're standing on one of them. The car is on one of them right now. Actually a bit dangerous. And this is snow, man. I've literally got snow fucking landing on me right now. I paused for a minute to take in the almost absurd duality of the scene. A strong, bright sun shining from the west and warming my back, while a glowering black cloud blasted snow at me from the east. It felt almost so surreal that I might have interpreted it as a metaphor for this trip. This is something else. A crag of rock, bedrock, this big slate ledge here, jutted out into the valley. 1,000-meter drop down there, and a big black cloud dumping snow on me. Like, what the hell, man? Like, this kind of thing is good for the soul, man, I'm telling you. Like, where do you get to experience this? The sun as well, that's the weird part of it. This is so badass. Look here, this is the seam of bedrock. Think about the cataclysmic event that must have caused this to be pushed up out of the ground like that. This is sedimentary bedrock, basically. So this is like what would have accumulated with sediment on the bottom of a seafloor over millions and millions of years, billions probably. And now it's 1,500 meters up in the air. That's over a mile in the air. Sedimentary bedrock, a mile in the air. Let that one sink in for a second. That's freaking wild, that, isn't it? Think about the forces at play to force that rock out of the sea and force it a mile into the air. Man, that's some wild stuff, that is, like. Just backing down extremely carefully off that ledge. Like, I got the shits a little bit there, I'm not gonna lie. Like, that is just a seam of slate there. I mean, I assume it's relatively stable, but like, no guarantees, you know what I mean? Ooh, my legs are jelly. I can't believe this weather, mate. This is just unbelievable, man. So out there, we've got full-on snow. Over here, bright sunlight and beautiful, and this is, yeah, snow is starting to hit here as well. We gotta outrun this now. It's fully black in the sky. God. Yeah, I don't really want to get caught in the full extent of this, which is actually, it looks like a pretty bad snowstorm up there. Look at that, look how black that is. It's like day to night. You know, whether it be van life, four-wheel drive expeditions, or just traveling with a backpack, this is your sign to go do it. Whatever tickles your fancy, whatever gets you going, go do it. I didn't do it for years and years and years. And now that I'm finally out here, 7 or 8 years later, I regret all those years wasted. That I wasn't doing this, that I wasn't doing what I wanted to do, which is this. How crazy is that, you know? Like, now I'm looking back and I think, wow, all those years preparing myself, making money, which really you end up just kind of spending anyway because you're living in a really expensive country in the UK, for me, but anywhere in the West. I think, wow, all that time wasted, all that time that I'll never get back. But the difference is, I did manage to get out, I did manage to do it, and now I'm doing it. So now, this is your side to go do it as well. Go have an adventure. The world is big, wide, and beautiful, and there are adventures everywhere. It's up to you to go have them. And man, I 10 out of 10 recommend. Go do this. I pushed the Land Cruiser out onto the switchback trail that would take me down the other side of this mountain. The late afternoon sun hanging bright in the sky, illuminating my gateway to Galicia province. Harried by the snow, wind and bitter cold at my back, I followed the sun into Spain's last wild western frontier. Over there, the sun's getting low in the sky. God, there's a rainbow, dude. Arco iris, I think in Espanol. Maybe someone can tell me in the comments. Arco iris is correcto? Oh, so snow and hail coming down. We've got the sunset behind us and we've got a freaking rainbow and a mountain up ahead. Does not get much better than this. This is the track on the mountainside that we're going to follow all the way down. All the way down to the valley. And you'll note that we're just below the tree line. So before, we were up on that freaking ridge, man. That was the ridge that we were up on. And you can see where the tree line is. Distinctive, isn't it? A remarkable thing. And these are pine as well, so it gives you an indication of just how high we are in altitude. Because you've got on the tree line deciduous trees, and they can't grow up above a certain line. And then you've got pine trees and other like evergreens like that, and they can grow a little bit higher. And then it stops, no more trees. The tree line ends, and that's why you get like bare mountaintops with nothing but kind of like hardy moor grass and heather and stuff that can eke out a living on the side of the mountain. That's what we're seeing here. So 20 past 6, the sun is going to dip below the mountains in, I would say, about an hour, maybe less, 50 minutes. At that point it'll get dark pretty quickly. So I have to make a decision here whether I carry on, just bashing these kilometers out into twilight for another couple of hours really, then try to find a campsite, or whether I find a spot close to here to camp for the night and then carry on in the morning. What would you do? Let me know in the comments below. I'm kind of deciding. This is like a tamped down gravel road that's pretty flat. It has some corrugations on it, but I tell you what, I can make so much more progress on one of these than I can on full-on four-wheel drive tracks. This is a gift, honestly. The sun is just about to dip below that mountain right there. The progress I'm making right now is really nice in comparison to the rest of the day. I think I've done more in 20 minutes on this gravel tamped down road than I have the whole day driving four-wheel drive tracks. Wow, the back end likes to skid out when I'm doing speed on this road. That's the only thing I need to be careful. All right, huge bridge. Actually beautiful hazel blue water. So this is basically the end of the reservoir. Yeah. This is the surface of this road. If all of my unpaved roads could be like this, I'd have this done in a very, very short amount of time, but as it happens, they're not. And these are really rare. Well, it's pretty much the first time that I've ever seen one of these gravelly dirt roads. There we go. Land Cruiser in the middle of a 1970s era bridge with a man-made body of water on either side. Look at that. It's very unnatural. You see what I mean about the look of reservoirs and such like. They look dirty and horrible. Like that is not meant to be there, you know what I mean? Enough with the ruminations about that. I need to get back in the car because it's absolutely bloody freezing. So I've kind of stopped to orientate here as well, and with me kind of making this trip up as I go along, I'm finding that I have to orientate and switch between GPX files quite a lot. So check out what I'm doing here. Basically, the yellow is the line that I've been following for, well, several weeks now, actually. So you see here, the trail that I used to get here went kind of back down and inland. I want to be going towards the coast and Galicia, so I've got this new trail here loaded up into the GPX Maps software, and that's going to take me all the way up into the coast. But I need to get to it now, so basically I need to kind of like figure out a way to get from here with the blue dot, which is obviously me, to the green. So I'm gonna, I think, cross here, obviously we're still at the bridge right now, and then go on the other side of this freaking reservoir, and then cross it again here, and then go all the way along here, the very side of the reservoir, climb back up the opposite side of the mountain, and then finally we'll reach it here, which I think is Fontagrada. This is a town on the Camino de Santiago. It's going to be an hour's drive, maybe longer, to get to this route, and then we're back on the straight and narrow. But yeah, we're gonna have to just do this by eye. So this up ahead is, I think, the original concrete bridge. Wow, this is awesome. Yeah, this must have been the original bridge. Whoa, that's windy, mate. Oh, black depths of the reservoir. See how the rocks just fall off into it. It looks murky and uninviting. It's like, oh god, depths of the blackness. Yeah, that's not somewhere I'd like to take a swim right now, let me tell you. This is the thing about overlanding, and it is that, like, you get to see things, one, from a completely different perspective, and two, things that you would otherwise never see, you know, whether it be a package holiday, tourist traps, or even if you rent a car and go traveling in countries like this, you don't get to see it to the profound way that you get to see it while you're overlanding like this. The other crazy thing is that down here on the shoreline you can see the trunks of a bunch of drowned trees. So they are trunks of the original trees that will have been drowned during the creation of this reservoir. You know, they've been standing there for years underwater, still exactly as they were when this valley was flooded. And I'd imagine this valley was flooded in what, 1940s maybe? 1940s, 1950s, something like that. And so think about that, they've been standing there for 70, 80 years, those dead trees. Just drowned trunks, like ghosts, the skeletons of what was once before. So I think we just crossed into Galicia. I just saw a spray painted sign onto a old concrete monument for that dam that said Viva Galicia. And so I think this is us now in it. Finally, I've been trying to get here for, well, freaking weeks. Keep trying to use the th and it sounds awful coming out my mouth, so I think I'm just going to continue with my normal pronunciation of Galicia. Oh my god, there's a whole abandoned town down there, brother. Dude, there's a whole abandoned town down there. I gotta go check that out, I have to. Yeah, you know I can't pass a fully abandoned town and not go check it out. So this is the first house. God damn. This is a little abandoned hamlet that I'm going down into right now. So that's the base of one of those oreos. This is the roof of another house. Let's see if we can go through this wall. Wow! My god, dude. These have been abandoned a long time. Man, these are old construction as well. You can tell by the nails. Nails are like hand forged. So this is a good way to date construction. These are handmade nails. Look at that. Comes right out. Wow. That was driven in to that beam hundreds of years ago. Forged by a blacksmith on an anvil. Just taking it out. Maybe I should keep that as a souvenir for something. I don't know what I would use it for. We'll put it back where we found it. Preserve the integrity of the area. How amazing. So the roof is still intact on this one, more or less. Always spiky thorns. Wow, dude. Look at the extent of it. Tons of them. Little abandoned. So you see how that's been. This has been the oreo, I think it was called, for keeping your grain and your produce and stuff up above so that mice can't climb up and eat it all. So this one with the roof still intact, let's check this out. This has been a stable with the two doors. Man, it amazes me to think of what was going on when these were put together. These look like they were made yesterday, you know, they're beautiful, beautiful stonework. Probably the conquest of the Americas was going on when these were being put together. 400 or 500 years ago, Cortes and his men were probably scaling Malinche, the volcano, and going into the Ciudad de Mexico to do battle with the Aztecs, you know. And these freaking things have been standing since those times. Ah, that was a spiky one. Wow. You see, that's been the trapdoor where they would have gotten up into this place from. There's more. So this is the Oreo. This is a full abandoned town. Wow. Another Oreo right here. This has stood the test of time remarkably. See down into there, and then we can look up into here. Wow, so that's where they would have kept all the grain, produce, vegetables, fruit and stuff. And that's the trapdoor that they would have gotten up into it with via a ladder. This one hasn't fared as well. Yeah, the back end of that one's totally collapsed. Look at the workmanship on there. All hand-forged pieces. It's little things like that that tell us that this is pre-industrial revolution. Because after the Industrial Revolution, they had things like nail presses and stuff to make things a lot easier and faster. But everything on these was made by hand. Absolutely everything. Full on abandoned house. There's the cruiser up there at the top. Abandoned town, rather. And these ruins. My God. The wall on that one looks like it's about to fall inwards. Phew. Blimey. I want to check that out. Yeah, look at that. That one is not long for this world. It's a shame to see, really. That could go any minute, any day. I think that's been a little alcove. But you can see the age of it. It's like twisting inwards and it's going to fall this way. In fact, I'm going to leave just in case. That would be some luck, that, wouldn't it? Standing underneath the wall when it goes. It was found flat under a bloody abandoned house. Wow, built literally into the rock. God. Incredible, brother. You can still see the hue marks on all of this. There's been real effort put into this. Look at that. Like they were put in yesterday. 400 or 500 years ago. Look at it. Oh, creepy. So creepy. Man. I'm trying to see what that's been, really. That's been an old range, look. The old fireplace. So they've had the fires here. Oh, it's a full bread oven. Look at that, it's a full bread oven. That is so cool. The metal door, you would have put your fire in there. And presumably there's a chimney out the back there. And you would have baked your bread. That is badass. I can't describe the feeling of what it's like to see these places. Like, that would have been a hamlet of a bunch of people looking at the houses there. 2 of those oreos for storing produce. I mean, it might have supported 30, 40 people there. Little village. And now it's abandoned, nothing there, no life. And yet parts of it still live on, like the roofs and that were put in by these people. The evidence of lives long ago lived, you know, the people who used to live in these places are probably long dead. Makes you think about your own mortality, man. Look at this. That's the chimney on the end for the bread oven. So can you imagine back in the day when this was a bustling little inhabited town? Smoke coming out that chimney. Probably the only bread oven in town. People coming up from down there to get their bread. Probably bartering with whatever they did, eggs, meat, vegetables. And now the hearths are cold and the house is quiet and slowly crumbling. Metaphor for life, that, isn't it? You gotta do what you want to do while you can, man. Because one day, like the inhabitants of that little village will all be gone. So, go do it now. Whatever it is, go do it. Mine just so happens to be this. Behind the wheel of a 30-year-old Land Cruiser. For some bizarre reason, I might add, I have no idea why this is it for me. No idea. Just settled on this, just fell into it one day and was like, oh yeah, this is pretty cool. I guess I'll dedicate my life to it. What the hell, like. But that's how things go, isn't it? You just try things out until you find one that sticks and you're like, yeah, I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna do that probably forever. What is that all about, man? Just like that, we're back on the trail, heading back up the mountain. I struck back out onto the trail as the sunset painted the sky with reds and oranges. I could see on my maps that I was heading towards a hilltop town named Fontagrada, and since it looked like I might be driving into the evening, I decided to stop, grab some supplies and see if I can find myself an easy meal. So we're deep in a logging area. These are all freshly cut logs. Man alive, this is cool, dude. This is really, really cool. Piles of them everywhere. Right, so I'm gonna join this track here. I diverted off my trail and pulled into the little town just as the sun dipped below the horizon and twilight set in. When you travel in overland like this, I find you get a keen sense for places that have a good vibe and vice versa, and this place definitely was part of the former group. Wow, so this is Fontagrada, the town that I've diverted to, because for one, it looks really cool and it's famous on the Camino de Santiago, and two, I really want to find something to eat. So yeah, I'm going to look on the map now and see if we can find like some really nice food. If there was like a steakhouse or something, I would definitely go for that. So I found a little restaurant, which is right here. So it's called Restaurante Pulperia Cantabrico. So I don't know why, but it appears that octopus, pulpo, is a speciality right here in this little town, which is very odd because we're quite far away from the sea, but nevertheless all of these places are pulperias. And so yeah, I'm gonna go check it out, and I'm not gonna have the octopus because I don't like it. Alright, so this is the little restaurant. Right, so here we've got lomo. I forget the actual name of it, but this is a cut of cow. It looks really bloody good. Glass of red wine there. So I'm gonna scan that. We'll be back on the way. That's me back in the car after that meal. That was absolutely fantastic, that steak. My God, really good. It's time for us to head off on the trail. Man, I feel well fed. That was a long day with not much food, and oh, that was just what I needed. Big old cut, amazingly cooked steak and a pile of chips. You can't beat it, like, you really can't. I pulled out of the quaint little hilltop town, one of the last stops for pilgrims on their way to Santiago. Well fed and feeling good, I was ready to get back on the trail and find a place to spend the night. I left Fontagrada via a back street and returned to the trail, which took me immediately into a patch of woodland. My spotlights illuminating the foliage all around as I pulled away from civilization and back out into the wild. So I could camp down here, it's just you can see in the grass. The dew is extreme with us being right next to a river. It's just gonna be cold and damp. Mind you, could be a bloody good spot regardless. Oh, maybe we'll do that. Maybe we'll just sod it. I mean, I've got the night each, haven't I? So I pulled backwards off the trail into a dew-cloaked meadow. Right next to a river, this place was chilly, but at the same time, idyllic. Alright, so I'm pulled into a beautiful little campsite. I think it's going to be fantastic in the morning. It's obviously just pitch black out there, so I can't really see anything, but there's a river right by it, and I pulled into a little grassy clearing just opposite. It's pretty idyllic. So yeah, pretty happy with this, honestly. Like, as wild campsites go, this is just about as good as you get. Alright, it's morning, so let's go check out what's going on outside. It looks pretty cold, but the sun is out, so that's quite nice. Wow, what a spot. So this is the place. God, that's good. And absolutely no one around for miles and miles. Cruiser there. So we slept last night. And a little river down there. This is the track in. You can see how rarely it's used. A tiny little river. Absolutely beautiful. Wow. Confluence of two rivers. No one over there. To me, this is the perfect kind of morning on the road. Waking up in the Land Cruiser in a stunningly beautiful place like this. A place discovered at total random and pulled into in the dark. This kind of spot feels like winning the Overland jackpot. A place where I was going to enjoy an easy morning, make some coffee and breakfast before striking back out on the trail. Headed this time towards the wild Galician coast. Some days it all feels like it's really just coming together right. That is, until it doesn't. Wow, I've got no brakes. Something's wrong with my brakes. Where the hell is that from? Oh no. Oh no, that's freaking bad. Yeah, that's bad. That's really bad. Has bent my suspension, probably beyond repair. I've bent the shit out of my leaf spring. So I have contact between the shackle and the steering box. Yeah, this is going to cause a lot of problems. I've never seen anything like it. Yet again, I just ran out of fuel. Oh god, I need to get a freaking fuel gauge, man. I'll have to replace that whole spring pack. The brake line has been crushed between the shock. That's annoying. That's kind of ruined my day.